Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Things are a little chaotic out there, but that's okay because we are resilient and we're going to use the tools that we have to continue our children's education. So what's most important to me is my children and your children's classes being able to continue right now, even through all this chaos. So you have access to my Zoom room and I'm going to share a few tools with you, okay? So first of all, before you continue to watch this video, I want you to see the two links that are right down below here, and I want you to watch those two first. The first one's how to get into a meeting. You're going to want to skip it. Please don't. If you're familiar with how to get into the Zoom room, you probably forgot what it takes to actually get in. So I want you to see what your brand new students are going to see. So if they're coming in for the first time, I want you to remember what that's like. The second video that's down there is some of the meeting tools, just the basics. It's the things that are going to pop up when your Zoom app is up on your desktop. So go through those. They talk about, actually, I can't remember, how to turn on your audio, how to turn on your video, and a few other things like that. So we're going to go over some things after you go ahead and watch those. So right now, just go ahead and pause. Okay, that was me holding still, freezing. Never was good at that as a kid either. Okay, so hopefully you've watched those now, and now we're going to move on to some of the little bit more advanced tools. I want you to keep in mind that the Zoom room that you're using, if it's the NCS room, you don't actually have access as a host. You are going to be seeing and have the same tools as your students will, so as a participant. So I'm going to show you what you're going to see based on that. So first of all, we're going to talk about how to raise your hand and then how to lower your hand. And you can tell the kids how to do this. We're going to also show you how to rename the name on the screen, and there's a reason for that. We're going to go over in a minute. And also how to share your screen, which is going to be super important. Both you and your students are going to want to be able to do that at different times. So hang on for just a second. I am going to share my screen right now. So you're going to see what it looks like as a participant when somebody shares their screen. So there's a little green button. Click on that. We'll go over this a little bit more in a few minutes. But this is a screenshot that Benita did for me when she and I were in, and we were kind of working through some stuff because I'm always the host, and so I don't really see what the participant is always seeing. So I wanted this screenshot so that I could use this actually to teach you. So right over here, first of all, you are going to want to get these screens up, the participant and the chat. And the way to do that is there's magic buttons that will appear down here at the bottom of your app when you hover over it with your mouse. Obviously, they're not doing that right now because this is a static shot. It's a screenshot, so it's not going to do anything for us. But you will see the participants button and then the chat button, both down here right below your app. So when you click on the participants button, it's going to open up this part. And if you also click on the chat, it'll open up this second part right here. So in the participants part, you can see I was actually in on two different screens so that I could see everything. This button right here is the one we're talking about. You're going to see this. It's going to say raise hand. Okay, once you hit it, then like Benita did, she clicked on it and her little hand raise came up. And that's going to show in the participants screen for you. So that's where you have to have this open if you're going to have the kids raise their hand. If you use the button again, it's going to lower the hand. So it'll just change what it says depending upon what activity is available at that moment. You can also mute yourself from here. It's not the only place. You can also mute yourself from the bottom left-hand corner. There's going to be a little microphone, and you can click on that, and a little slash will go through it, which means it's not currently working. That means you're muted, right? Click on it again, it will unmute. Zoom is awesome, and it's super, super simple. So really enjoy this format. I love it. Okay, in the chat, you have some options. I want to go over this really quick. I don't remember it talks about this in the meeting tools, but anything you type in here is kind of a default at this point to go to everyone. So in here I put a link so that everybody that was in the room could click on the link and it will open up on their computer. Okay, so this happened to be the Zoom room link, and you're not normally going to want to put that in here. It's not going to help you any. But if you wanted to share a PDF that was hosted online or a video or something like that, you could put the link right here, just copy and paste it in, and then hit enter, and it will go to everyone. Now, if you need to have a private conversation with someone, and be aware that your students can do this, okay, you can click on the little arrow here, and it will come up with a list of the participants. You choose which participant you want, click on it, and then you can type in, hit send, okay? So just watch that very carefully, that you're actually sending things to the people that you want to send them to, okay? So that's your chat box. Okay, so we're going to talk about renaming for a minute. Now, this is really important to me. You may not care about it very much, but I like to see the correct name in the screen. So as you can see right here, this says Brenda Haas, this says Benita. If your kids in your class are sharing their computer with maybe their parent does some Zoom room stuff, or their siblings are also doing classes online, you don't know what name is actually on there. So I kind of insist when I'm teaching online that they rename it so that their name is on there and I can see that. So if you hover over your name, right here, then two blue buttons would come up and one would be rename, or it might, if your stuff is small enough, then it might not say rename, it might say more, and you'll click on the more and that will give you a little bunch of options. Rename is one of them. You just click on it, then you type in the actual name, Brenda Haas, hit enter, you're done. Super simple. Really easy. Okay, the last one is how to share screen. Now, I don't really have it on here right now, but because there was actually no way for me to capture that. Like, it was really annoying. I tried to capture the magic buttons that only show up when your mouse is hovering over the app. So every time I would leave to go do a screenshot, I use my mouse for that and it would disappear again. So anyway, there's a little green box that's going to be right about here and it's going to say share. When you click on that box, you're going to get a pop-up. It's going to kind of block you from being able to see whatever else is going on in the classroom. And that pop-up is going to list all, it's going to have little cards, little squares, tiles that are going to show all the apps you have open currently right now on the computer, as well as any screens. So if you have more than one screen, it will show each screen individually and you can choose which screen. So I happen to have 3 screens here right now. I only have 2 open, my regular computer and then the monitor that I mostly use. 2 separate screens. So when I share, I am right now sharing my screen 2. So I've got to choose that out of the tiles. And once that's highlighted, then you have to push share down in the bottom right-hand corner of the pop-up, and then it will do its work. Takes it a second, and then now everybody can see what you're seeing on that screen, unless you choose a specific app, and then it will only show the app, okay? But be aware that the other thing that it will do is it will minimize your participants' windows where you can see all their videos down to, instead of a rectangle, it'll go down to this like narrow strip, okay? So that is, you may not be able to see everybody. If you can't see everybody and you want it, you can scroll. So there's a little arrow down at the bottom of the strip and you can scroll through them. If you do have 2 screens like I do, you can actually highlight the top of that strip, just hover over like the top black part, and you can drag it onto another screen, and then you can expand it as much as you want. You can open it back up to its normal size and you can still see everybody. Okay, so there's some valuable tools for you. I hope you have a great time. This is kind of a challenge, I know, to change the way that we teach. And we are actually going to have a webinar for you on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. on the 26th. And so if you want to participate in that, go ahead and put your name and email, I think it's just email actually, in the box right down below here. And that webinar is going to be about how to address the 7 different learning styles, even though you're online. So yeah, like some of those things are harder. Tactile learners, how do you do that online? There's actually ways. So we are really excited to share that with you. We're doing it as fast as we can. We're putting it together so that you can have that information as quickly as possible. So that is going to be on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So be sure to adjust for your time zone. So I guess that would put us at 8 a.m. Pacific time. That's pretty bright and early. Maybe before the kids get up, I don't know, at 10, let's see, 10 Central and 11 Eastern. So we will see you there. That webinar is totally free. We're just doing that to help you guys have the best experience you possibly can while you're doing this whole online thing. So anyways, have fun. Thank you for being so committed to the kids in your classes and for all you do for your Commonwealth. You guys are awesome. I love you. Bye.